A celebration is taking place at Riegersburg Castle, the 8th wedding anniversary of the Prince and Princess of Liechtenstein. The royal couple are inviting a close circle of friends to mark the occasion. The Austrian Michelin-starred chef Hans-Peter Fink is to create the carefully crafted menu. All of the fresh ingredients are locally sourced. The noble guests will enjoy local Styrian delicacies in the Baroque hall beneath a cloud of blossoms. My name is Emanuel Lichtenstein. My wife Sonia and our family welcome you to Riegersburg Castle. Styria, known as the Green Heart of Austria, is famed for its culinary delicacies, especially its pumpkin seed oil. Riegersburg Castle towers majestically over the fertile volcanic landscape. 3 hectares of vineyards run along its slopes. 7 gates and 11 arches must be passed to reach the castle. In its almost 1,000-year history, it's a path that's seen a lot of visitors. The castle has belonged to my family since 1822, and I took it over in 2009. Prince Emmanuel took charge of the castle after the death of his father. Here, tradition dictates that the firstborn son takes over, and I want to pass this on to the next generation. The Liechtenstein dynasty belongs to one of the oldest aristocratic houses in Europe. Prince Emmanuel's family lives in Austria.
Oh, thank you, darling.
The young family recently moved to a new home at the foot of the castle, a life marked by the traditional and the modern.
Der romantische Gedanke, in der Burg zu leben, ist, glaube ich, sobald...
The romantic notion of living in a castle is over as soon as the weather gets bad. In the winter, it gets unbearably cold, and in the summer, there are, thank goodness, a lot of tourists up there. So either you're freezing or you have very little peace. I'd say it was a logical move to build a home down here.
Der logische Schluss, würde ich sagen, schon hier unten zu bauen.
Yes, we've known this spot for a long time and came here a lot. We chose it and thought it would be nice to live here and always see the castle.
The prince and the starred chef are mulling over the menu for the anniversary celebration with a glass of the castle wine. How is it? A Pinot Blanco? I like it. Cheers. We thought we'd ask the ladies about the main course. I think so. Very democratic. It's always best to have the ladies on side. Very wise. So, no wild boar? I'd love to, but we can't always have our way.
The children are in bed, sleeping, I hope. I went for a walk in the forest last week with the children, and we went to look at the neighbour's animals, and he had poultry.
I wouldn't have a problem with guinea fowl or Styrian chicken. I don't know it. The taste is a cross between farm chicken and pheasant. I'd recommend it, yes.
That sounds good.
Sounds good. To the guinea fowl. The chef wants to inspect the free-range Riegersburg geese himself. Farmer Josef Keiner rears old types of poultry that used to be common at any Styrian farm. Oh, they're ready. Wonderful, unbelievable. They're beautiful. I can see that these are very happy animals. You can tell by the way it's looking. Wonderful, Franz. Masterpieces. It's not long before the beautiful animals are in the kitchen. As my wife and I were both at the wedding, it's a real pleasure to be asked to cook for the anniversary dinner. I'm very, very happy to do it. As I grew up here and the Castle Mount was my playground, it makes me even happier to create a beautiful menu to be served in the hall. We thought up something special, not for the everyday. Styrian truffle. These are black glazed walnuts and complement poultry, game and cheese. They are a delicacy and made by Hans Peter Fink himself. It's an elaborate and time-consuming process. Why am I putting them under the skin? Very simple, because feelings go under the skin too. And so I want the flavor to come from under the skin, a pure nutty taste. I saw this done in France with truffles, and I thought it'd be great to do it with the black nut. Smells delicious. The hot cedar wood will add a smoky flavor to the meat, which will be balanced out by the fresh garden herbs. Guinea fowl has a great flavor, almost like pheasant, but still has very soft meat, which is better for the ladies and is a pleasure to eat. It will be served in the great hall upstairs and will be an occasion to dish it up and make the event even more special. Up in the castle, Princess Sonia is making sure the Great Hall is in a good state to receive guests.
Look at this, Andreas. Such a big room for 8 people. Do you think you can manage it?
Andreas Stern, the most prized Austrian florist, designed the flower arrangement for the wedding reception in the famous hall. He knows exactly what he wants to do. It's wonderful, Sonia. I can imagine it. We'll have a cloud of blossom under which the guests will sit. It will be a wonderful experience for them. It will be like a new space that will make everything soft and impressive.
I'm sure it will be fantastic.
Andreas's designs will also be featured in the garden. Riegersburg Castle puts every visitor under its spell. It's true. I can't go 2 weeks without seeing my castle. I get very sad and need to see a picture of it. I like it. I like seeing it. I have no problem being here every day. A permanent exhibition takes the visitors through the rich history of the castle. One of its darkest chapters was Styria's witch hunt in the 17th century. Maintaining a castle of this size is an undertaking that requires complete dedication. Of course it's a life's work. You're born into it and grow up with it, and it fills you up. It gives me great joy, I have to say. I think that all Riegersburgers who live in this area consider it as their castle. People are happy when they see it. It's a landmark, it's a sign of home. And when you go away and people ask you where you're from, you say you're a Riegersburger. For a long time, the preservation of the castle was in the hands of Princess Anne-Marie, Emmanuel's mother.
Look what I spotted. Water. I don't know. I fear it's coming from the ceiling. You can't see anything, but one should check it out. There's always something with a castle. Something, somewhere, and you don't know how or where from. It was my world for decades, and it still is in a way, because you can't just give it up. It doesn't happen that quickly. But I know I have successors now. Next to me is my daughter-in-law. She's the one I turn to. You talk about the castle from woman to woman. The castle, die Burg, it's feminine too, isn't it?
Taking care of a castle is like caring for a diva, in all her moods and with all her surprises. It's coming in on this side in the White Hall. Yes. Where do you think the hole is? I can't picture it. Prince Emmanuel and his caretaker are already on the hunt for the cause of the leak. Well, it's just been done, it's all new, that can't be it. The roof was done 5 to 6 years ago, so this part should be fine. But it still seems to have a leak. How many square meters did we roof? 6,000? It had to be partly done with helicopters, as getting the materials up here is incredibly hard. And quite a bit of water has come through. Just another day at the castle. I'm not that relaxed about this. Maybe I just need to get older and wiser. At home, in his 400-year-old courtyard, the florist Andreas is working on the details of the decorations.
It's your collection we could use.
Baroness Isabel Kellersberg is helping him. She works as an events manager, and the two are a well-oiled team. It's so pretty. She'll be seeing it for the first time.
We're surprising her with pink and purple.
Exactly.
Hallo.
Hi, Sonja.
Sonja, ihr habt es gemütlich.
How cozy you have it here. We've been waiting for you. We have lots of wonderful things which we want to show you. I'm not sure whether you know his collection yet. He's created his own crockery.
Welches Porzellan?
What porcelain is it?
It's Herend.
Also, ich kann mir das Rosa,
I can imagine the pink and the violet would be
das
perfect.
Violett, das wäre perfekt.
Alongside the fine Hungarian porcelain, there will be a great floral display. Andreas already has a vision of what he wants it to look like. What makes it so special for the guest is that the decoration happens above their heads and gives them a unique and unforgettable experience. The guests will sit under a cloud of blossom. I can imagine it.
Are you excited? Yes! So! It's going to be beautiful.
I can't wait either. The Baroness and the Princess are close friends. Isabel Kellersberg is from a Styrian noble family and loves nothing more than organizing events like tomorrow. A perfectionist, she pays attention to every detail.
Hi, Christoph. Good that you're there. I have a small problem. The mount on a lance is missing. Can I show you?
Yes, let's go together.
Look, this should go on here. The others are fine, but something's missing here.
Yeah, we've got some iron in the fire. I think we can make it.
Okay, so you'll do something.
We'll get it done. There has been a blacksmith at the castle for several years. He makes knives and traditional weapons, so a mount should be no problem. Tomorrow, the castle will be festively lit. Dr. Prince Emanuel von und zu Liechtenstein is also a practicing doctor, yet still manages to find time for his hobby, climbing. Something his beloved castle can offer him too. We've been climbing the castle mount for 5 years now, and it's become a great hobby and passion of mine. I think it's a great sport out here in nature. We're the only natural rock for about 60 kilometers. So it's become very popular, which is wonderful and fills my time in a great way. It's a wonderful feeling, standing up here and looking out over the landscape. Sharing it with good friends is even better. The prince and his trainer, Charlie Fostner, have become good friends. His business, Naturburg, has rented a part of the mount and offers climbing courses for stressed managers. If I'm climbing right by the castle, then I can't switch off completely. Of course, there'll be a roof tile or a hook lying around, and I'll think, where did that come from? But it does give you some distance from the everyday. 2 of the climbing routes are named after the sons of the prince, Leopold and Heinrich. The castle is our life. I don't consider it as a burden. I don't consider it as a job. I see it as a matter of course that you look after it and take joy in it. You live it.
This will be the finest strudel.
The best anniversary present possible. The children are helping bake the apple strudel. Their grandmother, Princess Anne-Marie, and Chef Sissi are allowed to help.
Sissi is our cook and our menu expert and has this whole place under control. We never know how many people will be there. It all depends on the weather. She's a genius. She really is great. Up there, it's like an energy source. Without it, I love the castle, which is why it's never too much work for me. What did Sissi add? Flour, eggs? Yes, and? And the most important. Salt?
The two young princes are taking the strudel very seriously.
It's the best and the most fantastic thing you could wish for. The healthy grandchildren, happy children, pleasant and quiet because their mother is so loving. And I think that's the most wonderful thing for a grandmother, to be able to enjoy that.
Finally, the two young cooks and their little sister get to taste the ingredients. Chef Sissi is tending to the unique strudel pastry.
Love is important for strudel. It's not possible without it. It doesn't matter where you make it, you need space.
It's the very first time the two young princes get to see apple strudel being made. Now, skill and timing are of the essence.
Yes, look, you're doing very well. The dough has to be lukewarm. As soon as it's cold, it breaks. That's why it has to be quick. The longer it takes, the more brittle it becomes. Help! A hole!
Ein Loch. Da kleben wir das Loch zu.
We'll stick it shut.
Also kein Loch mehr machen, wenn ihr
No more holes if you can help it. Now we're going to put it over the corner. One used to say that the pastry has to be so thin that you can read a newspaper through it. I only discovered through Sissi what an art form it was. I never thought about apple strudel. You just eat it, don't you? And then Sissi showed us up in the castle, and we were all incredulous that it has to be so thin.
Princess Sonia can't resist writing the menus for dinner by hand.
I'm making the most of a quiet moment. Whilst the kids are occupied, I haven't written with a quill and ink for some time. I'm enjoying being a little creative again.
Und ich freue mich jetzt wirklich, endlich wieder mal ein bisschen kreativ zu sein.
The apple strudel is now entering a critical phase.
Hände in die Höhe.
Hands in the air. No one touched the apple strudel.
Cinnamon and sugar is added to the grated apple. The toasted golden breadcrumbs are sprinkled over separately. They bind the juices. Rolling the pastry is the trickiest part. Best done with a special strudel cloth. And the strudel lands in the baking tray safely.
Only we can do that. Yes, exactly.
Behind the thick castle walls, the decorations are being tended to.
I'll put this here.
Yes, it's nice when it bunches together to make clouds.
How did you think of this colour? It's fantastic.
It's following on from the classic Rococo. It's fairy tale-esque.
Did you look at the frescoes?
Yes, the rooms definitely inspire the creations. That's what makes this so exciting.
It's perfect for the occasion. Are those bell flowers?
Baroness Kellersberg and Andreas Stern are adding the finishing touches to the royal blossoming wonder.
The peony, look, it's still closed. Will it bloom by the evening?
Yes, they'll open by the evening. There'll be a wonderful Baroque shape and the scent will be really strong.
Like this one. Lovely.
Andreas Stern likes to combine the simple with the extravagant, the pure with the sensual, and has succeeded in turning the hall into something out of a fairy tale. Now we're at the dessert. I've made a jelly out of sparkling wine. I take a mature sparkling wine, add a little rose water, rose petals, and fresh berries.
Rosenblüten, ja, und frische Beeren.
The special thing is that when you see the rose blossoms, they don't overpower it, but support the sparkling wine and create a freshness in the mouth.
Sehr, sehr wohlige Weise und machen auch den Gaumen frisch. Und am Ende dann,
And at the end, we add Waldmeister ice cream. That's the kick on top, ice cold and a refreshing dessert. The blossom cloud is floating over the table. Fresh sage leaves add an extra touch of scent, and the bow motif can be seen over the entire banqueting table.
Andreas, you are unique. Amazing.
Unglaublich. Wahnsinn.
Sonia, I'm so happy you like it.
You've breathed new life into the White Hall.
Just one thing missing.
Wie würdest du sie hinlegen?
How would you put them down?
I think I'd let them fall on the table,
That's a good idea.
as if the wind had swept them in. Is that your writing?
Yes, I tried.
Even the smallest details are simple yet opulent. The twigs from outside are coloured in gold. The starter is being prepared in the Villa Liechtenstein. The volcano ham is a regional delicacy, as are the Paradeiser, the local name for tomatoes. Even the melons are Styrian. I think the mature ham goes incredibly well with such young, fresh tomatoes, the melon and the salad. I always say you eat with your eyes.
Ich bin der Meinung, dass wir einfach mit den Augen essen. Also diese Blüte.
This blossom has a royal touch, the royal blue touch, the potage blossom. It's inspired me and will go on top. Up in the castle, everything is running smoothly.
Du, Gabriele, so
Do you remember the style you made for my wedding?
an die Abendfrisur, die du mir gemacht hast, damals zur Hochzeit.
That was 8 years ago.
Ja.
Yes,
weißt du
but
noch?
you remember,
Das
you
war
put
so
roses in my
gewesen,
hair. I thought it was beautiful.
gesteckt hast.
War schön.
Also ich habe die total schön gefunden.
Aber heute
But
machen wir
today
was
we're doing
anderes.
something different,
Es wird
a little more
bisschen
casual,
ungebändigt.
Ganz
very
natürlich.
natural.
Princess Sonia is a great fan of the renowned stylist.
Nicht zu viel.
She's come straight from a Prada fashion show.
Lassen offen.
The banqueting table is ready for the evening. A surprise almost came too late. Baroness Kellersberg has organized for a castle falcon to preside over the evening. Prince Emmanuel leads the small circle of guests up to the castle. Only his brother, the diplomat, is unable to attend. Tonight, the owners can have Riegersburg Castle all to themselves. The noble guests have come from across Austria and the Principality of Liechtenstein. To a happy 8th anniversary. To our health. Unbelievably beautiful. I have to say, Andreas is an artist, absolutely.
Also ich muss sagen, der Andreas, ein Künstler, absolut.
The White Hall has been restored to its former glory. And the regional feast boasts all the Styrian culinary highlights. A menu for demanding appetites, refined by the castle wine. Pinot Blanco, Micheli Baste, grown on the estate. Cheers. The chef's son has been put in charge of carving the guinea fowl. The master prefers to stay behind the scenes. The black walnuts lend the tender birds an almost chocolatey flavor. The crowning finish is the small prince's homemade apple strudel and the cool rose blossom jelly served with the tangy ice cream. The island of Langeland in the south of Denmark. In Tranekaer Castle, the oldest inhabited estate in the kingdom, Count and Countess Ahlefeld-Lauvig are preparing for their springtime celebration. A round of guests will enjoy an exquisite meal, prepared in the castle kitchen, made from the finest regional and seasonal ingredients.
Good day. I'm Mette Ahlefeld-Lauvig.
And I am Christian Ahlefeld-Lauvig. Welcome to Tranekaer Castle. Langeland is the largest island in the Danish South Sea. The Danish kingdom is known for its delicious seafood and smørrebrød, a well-topped piece of buttered bread considered a national dish. The fresh charm of Scandinavian springtime is all around the island and its castle. For centuries, it's been the symbol of Langeland Island. In June, the Count and his wife, Countess Mette, invite close friends and family to a springtime celebration. In 2 days, on the morning of the party, the Count will go stag hunting. Jørgen Rasmussen is in charge of the hunt and will be going with him. There could be something good done in Mummeland. And then a little further up from where one can see the castle. Yes, it's great down there.
Have you already picked out a good stag?
Yes, the plan is to get a feel for the lay of the land now.
Yes, so you'll probably get going around 5? Good that I don't have to get up so early.
Yeah, it's already light. Shooting stags is permitted on Langeland until mid-July. One has to make sure one hunts in the right parts of the island. The Count takes the opportunity to have a look around and make sure everything is in order on the estate. It spans over 2,300 hectares. The largest hunting areas are on the edge of a forest. Oh, this is perfect because we have this long strip of forest. There are at least 3 stags, or at least there should be. You've already taken a look. Yeah, the wind is great too if it holds, and it probably will. Yeah, conditions couldn't be better. The Tranekaer estate is also used for agriculture, producing wheat and rape. The Count wants to make a cooking oil from the rapeseed and export it to Japan. Danish products are very popular in the Far East. The drive takes the men past a herd of wild horses. The Count owns 27 Exmoor ponies that help to keep the meadows trimmed. They're not accustomed to human contact, and it's not easy to get close to them. Mette has a lot to do in the castle. Chef Christian Picard wants to go over the menu for dinner. For the first course, Christian suggests lobster. Local lobster, of course.
Christian, as a starter, I could imagine something with white asparagus. What do you suggest?
Yes, I think one could make a little asparagus with some fish. turbot, asparagus, a little butter, something crunchy, a few herbs. On account of the hunt, Mette wants to serve stag, whether it's fresh from the estate or not. This means using a cherry wine, which is made according to an old family recipe. I think it has such a deep and rich flavor. If we reduce and mix it with the meats, juices, a little butter, salt and pepper, we'll get a very deep and intense taste that will bring out the cherries and the meat.
I can't wait to try it. It'll be a new experience.
For dessert, they agree on ice cream with strawberries and rhubarb. Christian knows the culinary preferences of the hostess very well.
For me, the most delicious food is fresh, seasonal produce that is prepared in just the right way. Our chef, Christian Picard, is an absolute expert. It should be delicious yet simple. It shouldn't be too laboured and too fancy. Just straightforward and tasty. That, for me, is a delicacy.
The Countess is very pleased. If the menu is anything to go by, the dinner is looking to be a great success. The Ahlefelds are one of the oldest noble families in Denmark. Tranekaer Castle was built in the 12th century as a fortress. It's been in the ownership of the Ahlefelds since ancestor Friedrich von Ahlefeld kidnapped and eloped with the 14-year-old daughter of the owner in 1656. The new father-in-law, Imperial Count zu Rantzau, was left with no choice but to gift the castle as her dowry. It's been in the Ahlefeld family ever since. At the foot of the imposing castle, Christian begins to prepare the dinner in his own restaurant. The game needs to be filleted and marinated for 12 hours. Alongside olive oil and onions, the marinade contains thyme, rosemary and tarragon. Salt and 5 different types of pepper are also added. For inspiration, Christian is turning to a 200-year-old cookbook from Tranekaer, composed by the then castle chef, Christopher Jacobsen. The entire concept behind the art of Christopher Jacobsen's cooking is simplicity, ecology, and using regional produce. That's something that's seen as modern nowadays, but it was commonplace for the everyday to function. I like this basic principle of the simple kitchen, with quality and taste being the main part of the dish, rather than all the fashionable extras. Christian is also getting started with the Countess's cherry wine to make the base for the sauce. For dessert, he's preparing a soup made from rhubarb and strawberries grown on the island. Red wine, vanilla, lemon and sugar will still be added, as well as the exotic tonka beans. I use the tonka beans because they're so aromatic, with strong nut and vanilla flavors that lend it a very warm and sunny taste. It will give a depth to the dish of cold rhubarb soup. The fruits need to be cooked for 20 minutes and are then put through the sieve. On the evening, ice cream will be offered with the soup, hidden in these chocolate balls. A lot of my ideas are inspired by my children. These balloons come from a wish to create a surprise. Seeing the delight on people's faces when they're served with soup and realize that there's more to the soup. The preparations for the exquisite meal are all being done in the chef's own restaurant. 200 years ago, this is where the Count's riding and carriage horses were housed. His nickname is now the name of the restaurant, the General. Before busying herself with all the preparations, Countess Mette takes some time with her horse Polly. She's been an avid rider since she was small, and riding for the hunt is her passion. She likes to do as much stable work as she can herself.
For me, all the preparations are part of the riding. It allows me to see what mood the horse is in and gives us a chance to get close to each other. For me, this is very important.
So that they understand what is needed of them in as well as outside of the dressage arena, event horses like Polly have to learn, or it could get dangerous in competitions. For the Countess, the rides out on the estate are a highlight.
It gives me a sense of freedom. Galloping over the fields is my favorite me time. I can relax, block everything out and just enjoy the moment, together with my horse.
But today, there's little time for that. The lady of the castle is expected in the banqueting hall. Jeanette, the wife of chef Christian Picard, wants to lay the table. Her first rule, no dinner without underplates.
Imagine you enter a room and there's nothing in front of the guests. It looks a little empty. We do it to welcome our guests to the table.
Here, impeccable hospitality also means impeccable precision.
The cutlery is laid so it reaches down to the golden edge. The forks too, up to the golden edging, so it fits. It has to be directly opposite, parallel to the sides and directly in front. Otherwise, it doesn't look nice and irritates the eye. It has to create an overall impression, so it always looks good when the guest is seated at the table. Hey, Jeanette, how's it going? Good. Great. I brought the serviettes down. Remember, the monogram has to go at the top.
For the larger events, Countess Mette likes to make sure that the table has been laid perfectly. She comes from a noble family herself, and attention to detail is of great importance when entertaining, as is the seating order.
Christian and I always sit opposite each other. We feel this is the best way to be with our guests. We arrange the seating in the following way. If someone has never been to Tranekaer, we sit next to them. We try to seat guests together that have interests and experiences in common.
While Jeanette is achieving her perfect symmetry, the Countess tends to the rooms of her guests. Her youngest daughter, Benedicta, is helping her. The castle's guest rooms always have something sweet and sometimes an unusual surprise.
Hello. Can I come in and have a look? Does everything look good?
An unconventional way to the bathroom.
This is because of the large cupboard. It has always been in here and it was impossible to find a space for it and a bathroom. So I had the idea that you could go through the door to get there.
The castle has 14 guest rooms, and a few years ago, Countess Mette was very involved with their renovation. Interior design is a passion for the trained psychotherapist. The rooms in which Queen Mother Ingrid has stayed are not only available to private guests, although the castle cannot be termed as a conventional hotel, as the guests stay door to door with the Ahlefeld family.
We enjoy having guests, of course our friends, but also those whom we don't know who come and stay here. An old house like this needs life in it, and it has that when we fill it with guests. There are fresh flowers, there are delicious smells coming from the kitchen, and all the rooms are ready. It's a good feeling.
The castle has a total of 70 rooms, such as the Red Hall, with mirrors from the 19th century and photos from the 21st, some taken by the godmother of the Count, the Danish Queen Margrethe II. the Chinese room has a special story. The great-grandfather of the Count was the Danish ambassador to China and Mongolia 100 years ago. The table comes from Ulaanbaatar and was transported to Beijing by camel, and then by ship to the Tranekaer Castle. The Svendborg harbour on the neighbouring island of Funen. Chef Christian wants to get the turbot from fish merchant Mats. So, Christian, here we have the turbot. Yes, this is the largest. Christian secures 4 of the delicacies for one of the starter courses. He takes a lot of care when preparing them back in the kitchen. You have to be very careful when you're filleting a fish like turbot. Of course, firstly because it's expensive, but the meat is also very valuable as it's so firm and incredibly tasty when you bake or fry it. But you have to be sure to separate as many bones as possible and get a beautiful and complete fillet. Christian wants to serve the turbot with dinkel. He's cooked the grain and is now letting it cool and dry. Only then can he roast it as planned. For the lobster first course, he's making an onion puree. The onions are cooked with salt, thyme and milk. At the finish, a touch of garlic will be added. The timing is crucial when it comes to the lobsters. Once he's removed the delicate meat, he uses the shells for the lobster essence. With some vegetables, red onion, thyme and white wine, it cooks for at least 16 hours. Only then has the full aroma been achieved. The morning of the festive dinner has arrived. At 5 on the dot, the Count and the forester Jürgen meet in the forest by the castle. Allan Madses is joining them, one of the guests who comes to the castle several times a year, especially for the hunting events. Without hunting, nature would be out of balance here. We remove the sick animals and shoot those that have become too dominant. With the stags, it's to ensure the younger ones have a better chance of survival. Hunting is caring for nature. The wind has unexpectedly turned, so they're taking a different route than originally planned. The men are particularly watchful of an area between the meadow and the forest's edge. But whatever they saw was gone in the blink of an eye. We saw a stag and a deer, but the stag was very alert, so we think there's a larger stag a little way away. The men decide to split. There are 2 places where the stag they spotted could reappear. Christian heads east. Now is the time for patience. If there's a chance that a stag can just come by, you wait. Sometimes I start by sitting and waiting. Sometimes I end the hunt this way. It's exciting. What will the morning bring? Sometimes you're lucky, most often not. That's just the way it is. Back at the castle, the Countess starts her day with Birte Rasmussen. The ladies are choosing the flowers for the table decorations. Birte is a florist on Langeland and has been tending to the arrangements at Tranekaer for years.
If we're going for colour, then this is best. Then these go well. Yes. It's nice with the leaves, and we have this foliage for the lining and the accessory. Yes, that's a good idea.
The round rhododendron petals are a nice contrast to the high lupins, which Birte brought from her garden. Mette has also very clear expectations when it comes to the flowers.
They shouldn't be too formal, more inviting and homely. Of course, always pretty and creative. That's what makes them a nice floral decoration. But they also need to look comfortable.
Beate is in charge of arranging the flowers, while Mette will be receiving her first guests soon. In the kitchen, Christian is testing his cherry wine reduction, which will be added to the juices of the cooked game. It adds a fruity depth to the dish, a hint of marzipan, and gives the meat a long-lasting flavor together with the sauce. Things have to be quick and coordinated when it comes to the dessert. The frozen chocolate balls mustn't melt. The filling made from cream, vanilla, egg, sugar, and white chocolate has to be inserted quickly and then have time to cool down. Now it's time for the butter, with a hint of salt and white pepper for the turbot. Little pieces of onion have been added for more flavor and saffron for the color. Count Christian has had little luck with his stag in the forest. Jürgen and Alan have also been unsuccessful. The animal they saw through the binoculars early that morning has made itself scarce. Maybe it's down to the early warning system in the forest. The blackbirds are especially good, the songbirds too. When they go chip, 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 it's likely that there's a fox or a cat about, some animal on the ground. When they squawk, then they've seen a bird of prey or an owl that's sitting in a tree. Then they gather. The owl is usually perched close to the trunk and they fly around it and warn each other. Today, the game outsmarted the hunter. They saw the deer with her young again, but the stag they intended to shoot has disappeared. They don't bite every time. We had a nice morning, saw animals. It is what it is. We'll have to come back another time. Luckily, Christian's deer fillets are coming along nicely, and the marinade has soaked through. Now just the finishing touches have to be made before the meat is served this evening. I'm placing it on a very, very hot iron pan because they're very tender pieces of meat, and it has to be quick for them to get the flavor of the grill, yet still be raw inside. Whilst the last preparations are being done in the kitchen, the first guests are arriving at the castle. Good friends from Copenhagen, and Christian's parents, Countess Britta and Count Preben Alfred Lauvig, are here. For a quick little snack, Christian has rustled up some salmon sandwiches with a delicious cucumber relish made from vinegar, thyme, and sea salt to round off the salmon. The salmon is cold smoked, very mild and elegant in taste, while soft in texture. The smoky taste sets off the cucumber salsa, which is slightly tart and lends it a freshness. The hard-boiled quail eggs are an eye-catcher, topped with parsley and chervil pesto. The weather on the island is holding too, so the party can enjoy the Danish snack outside.
Dette så en lokal laks som røket I området her? Det kan være veldig. Spis.
Shall we start with the toast and saying welcome?
Yes, we should. Thank you for the invitation. Whilst the salmon is being enjoyed on the castle balcony, Beate Rasmussen is perfecting the decorations. So the blossoms stay fresh for a long time, she removes the leaves from the stalks. She likes the color combination, and the white porcelain blossoms complement the large ones nicely.
I think it's important for the flowers to add color. For the room too, there's light and a play on the colors, especially with the chandelier in there. There's only one rule for the arrangement. It can't be too high.
The guests need to be able to see each other.
I think this suits the table. Pretty colours for a lovely evening.
A few hours later, and the celebrations have begun. The guests are close friends and family of the Count and Countess. The lobster is being prepared in the kitchen, served with lobster essence on a bed of onion puree. Welcome to a true spring meal. Welcome. We're happy to see you. The guests are delighted with the lobster that is served on a wafer-thin black bread chip. Christian is making sure nothing is left to chance. The asparagus is eagerly anticipated.
I can't get enough of it, so we're eating it again today. And a little turbot.
The saffron butter balls melt over the warm asparagus. Everything has gone perfectly so far. Timing is key for Christian, especially serving the main course at the right moment, the deer fillets with seasonal vegetables. Now it's time for a well-deserved breather in the kitchen. The fruit soup with vanilla and tonka beans is served directly at the table. Time for self-assessment. Yes, I'm pleased. I hope the guests are too. It's their opinion that's important. The mood at the table speaks for itself. The guests are already looking forward to the springtime festivities at Tranekaer Castle next year.